Hello and welcome to a very impromptu live broadcast from Camp for You in Wrocław, Poland. I don't know if this is coming out okay or not, but no, I think it is now. So if you've got a little bit of a problem at the start, sorry, that was due to internet problems, but I've now resolved it. I am at Camp for You, which is a campsite which is around 10 kilometers or so from the center of Wrocław. It's out in the countryside, as you can see, and but there is in front of me right now a main road which will take you into Wrocław. Now I am here because yesterday we had a meeting about van life, discussing about living in a motorhome and traveling in motorhomes. So that is the reason I actually came here today. So I will be doing some traveling in the next few days myself, although I'll be going in an easterly direction. So for the purpose of this little chat, so as always, when I do things related to motorhomes live, please keep the conversation civil. If you send anything which is obscene or rude or anything like that, you'll be automatically banned, and there's no appeal, no nothing. So please don't, even in jest, don't send anything. I've got to be careful in these things. And what I shall do is I shall show you around the campsite during this little tour. Right, so as you can see behind me, in fact I'm going to turn the camera around so you don't really want to look at me. You can see the main road behind me. Now I'm turning the camera around. So this is the campsite. Sorry, I've got the gimbal in the way, and thank you, Paris. Oh, because I must point out one thing. I thought that this was a really bad time to do anything, because I thought, well, who's going to be awake? Because audience in the United States, it's like the middle of the night, and I thought, well, the audience in the UK, they won't have got up yet, and I thought some people from Australia might come in, and but from Philippines, there's number one. Okay, so we have this campsite, and I come here quite regularly. This is one of my places where I'm a constant visitor to, and Dubai. Sorry, Dubai. Well, that's also yeah, it's getting late in the midday in Dubai right now. So I come here quite often, and a new feature about this campsite is there's a sale of motorhomes. So I filmed one or two of them during my stay here, and there's other additional services for motorhomes here. Hello, Jason. So you're up in Cork, where my great grandparents came from, and on my father's side. So anyway, so we've got the campsite here. And good morning from Italy. Oh, great. Say where you're on, great. And sitting with some US airborne boys having a beer. Great stuff. So, and hello to Australia. We've got some US airborne boys here in Poland now for very good reasons. Thanks, Jason, saying I come from good stock. And right, so here we have the beginning of the campsite. We've got these Renault models out here, and you know, it's quite unusual actually to see so much stock. I know that mightn't seem like much stock to most people, but in the current situation there is a major shortage of motorhome stock for all of us. So I mean, I've heard of people in the UK who might have some like 100 vehicles usually to be seen, and now might have 5 or 10, which is more or less what there is here. In fact, there's more than 5 here, but not quite 10. So anyway, so here's the campsite. Now there we've got the camp bar, as it's written, drink, food, beer, burgers, wine. And here is the outdoor stage, which in the current temperature is not in use. It's now around, I would say, about 0 degrees centigrade here at the moment. It's pretty cold. Today it'll get to about 8 or 9. Here we have the dump. So the water, the toilets. I might have to do a separate video on how to dump a toilet cassette. That's a good idea. I suspect that everybody who watches my videos actually knows it, but ought to do something. Here we have the bathrooms and the showers. So I'm going to turn the camera in the other direction just in case somebody comes running out, and that isn't something that well, there's somebody coming running out on the other side, so I'll although dressed, I wouldn't want somebody coming out the shower with no clothes on, as occasionally happens here. So we've got these houses like here. This is all year, and so people who don't have the weirdos who don't have a motorhome can actually stay in there. And there is, it's pretty cold, so the campsite isn't particularly busy at the moment. So we've got guests here from Norway, Belgium, Ukraine, and Poland. Although I suspect the people from Ukraine aren't guests on a short tourists, so to speak, but they're in transit to somewhere else. And this, of course, just has to be made quite clear. We have this human tragedy here in Poland at the moment, where there are hundreds of thousands, in fact now it's 2 million people from Ukraine here in Poland. And you've got about 3 million refugees externally, and now we're looking at 4.5 million refugees, displaced people in Ukraine. So I think a dreadful human catastrophe, which 1 month ago we wouldn't have actually even thought about. And on my other channel, my history channel, I'm trying to show these things as much as can. 7.5 million people, a population of 44 million people now on the road. Horrendous. So anyway, I'll come back to the campsite now, having said that. Here we've got a place where the vehicles can be, these are the new vehicles which are getting stuff done to them. So it's just somebody buys a vehicle and they sort of order things to be done to them. You might want solar panels or alarm systems, or all sorts of, because everybody, air conditioning, see one's got up there. People want all sorts of stuff. So people have bought these vehicles and they're getting what they ordered fitted onto them. Here we have this swimming pool, and now when I came here 2 days ago, it was frozen. Oh, it's frozen now as well, look. See? That's the swimming pool. So shows you how warm it. This thing here is something new. I think this was actually put here to demonstrate. Sorry, it's a sauna. And the sauna has been here very short time. I think you're supposed to demonstrate the use by jumping in here into the frozen pond and then back there. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really look at. There's my hand actually, because I think, see, although having said that, I don't know if my hands get red particularly quick. So yeah, I came here rather light, and I didn't put any thermal. Didn't bring thermal underwear with me. So so I do. Well, having said 0 to 0, I don't actually tend to wear thermal. It's got to be colder than that before I start using it. Otherwise, it gets too hot when you start moving around. And yeah, I could do some ice skating there if I knew how. And there's no chance of me taking up ice skating. It seems a pretty good way of breaking your leg or something like that. So I'm far too old to do something that dangerous. Here we've got, this is the wild part of the campsite. So you see, we've got the electricity down here, so there's people in this tent down there. I know that because I had 2 dogs that came after me the other day. And so if you wanted to, it's also so it's more wild here, if you like. So it's a, well, see, it is a hard surface now, but it's not meant to be a hard surface. It's meant to be a soft surface. It's hard because it's frozen. And out the back down here, we've got this really nice forested area, which I filmed myself in here because I thought it looked quite good. And now to the right, you can't just about make it out potentially, but there are some greenhouses, and I believe that they are the largest greenhouses in Europe. And if they're not the largest, they're amongst the largest, because somebody said they were the largest. I didn't check before saying this. Absolutely enormous, and the production of tomatoes, but quite incredible. In fact, it's even longer than the greenhouses, going even further down. It's like more or less where this forest ends down there, and from the almost from the road where I started off. So that's the length of them, or the width, I should say, because the length is even longer. So that's very impressive. And this is really outside, but we've got forest surrounding the campsite. Hello from Kenya. That's great to have someone in from Kenya. So I see the Kenyan flag as well. And yeah, no, it's fantastic. Of course, it's Kenya doesn't know. Well, no, not true. That it does get cold in Kenya, but you got to go up the mountain first. So here we are in the forest. So. And anyway, so what I like about this is that I like the contact with nature, but I like some facilities as well. When I'm on the campsite, I'll put it back on me. Now you've seen a bit. And I like the facilities. I like the contact with nature. And also, it's quite close as well into the centre. In Wrocław, I would have to say, it's one of the nicest places in Poland. Now, this is my opinion. Number one, I put Gdansk. Number two, I suppose I'd put Krakow maybe, or Warsaw, I don't know. But anyway, it's in the top 4, or top 5, because I like Przemysl as well. So top 5, or Lublin, it's in the top 6. In the top 6, so I haven't actually, to avoid any complaints in the comment section, I haven't actually done it, broken it down anymore. So anyway, so this is me in the forest on a Sunday morning, about to travel to Katowice with a friend who's parked, who's still asleep, and I shall obviously stick up some videos from where I've been traveling, will be traveling around next week. Yes, indeed, it's really nice to have such a lovely area to be in. And so, thanks very much to everybody who's been here today and watched, and all the best from me. Bye. Thank you.